Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you for coming to our meeting. It's nice to see all of you. We're good. How's everybody?
Audrey, good to see you in the Cleveland Browns orange. Very nice.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Where's Ralph at? Ralph didn't show today purposely, huh?
All right, this is the
I'm his
Mahoney
alternate.
County- This is the Mahoney County Commissioners Hearing Room, regular meeting number 44, Thursday, November 14th. Any public comments? Okay, hearing none. Approval of the previous minutes of board meeting number 43, Thursday, November 7th, 2019, and approval of bills and payments. I hear a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Journal entries number 1, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Number 2, travels, A, lead. Bill?
That is travel for myself and Dan Martin to the new grantee orientation for the new grant position.
Okay. Number 2, travels, A, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Trafficante.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Ridley.
I
Yes.
think there needs to be a chaperone now.
Great. Why did you want to go? Good God. Maybe we need to bring Anthony as chaperone here. I'll just wait for the phone calls. Number 3, agreements, A, Convention and Visitors Bureau. Tara?
Morning, Commissioners, Nancy. A covers all advertising for 2020 in Great Lakes publications. This includes Ohio Magazine and all state tourism office publications. We are processing this now because of the early deadline for the state travel guide.
Okay, thank you. And B, data?
Morning, Commissioners. This is approval for pricing schedules and contracts for the county voice and data network and internet network. So these are contractual services we have. Been working with AT&T to renew these services as we migrate to some of the newer technology. Obviously, we're going there to gain the tech benefits of it. And there's some cost savings as well. So.
Okay, thank you. C and D, engineers.
Good morning. C is an agreement with Minor Tractor Sales for repairs to our vehicle number 549. It's in the amount of $2,582.25. D is an agreement with Southeastern Equipment for repairs to our vehicle number 462. And that's an estimated amount of $6531.82.
Okay,
All non.
thank you. E and F, lead? Bill?
E is an agreement with American Pinnacle for a chip grant rehabilitation, and F is agreement with Gary Krim Inc. also for a chip grant rehabilitation.
Thank you. G and H, sanitary.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner. G is an agreement with SCP Incorporated. This was necessary due to employees from the NBSD during their normal rounds had discovered that a 24-inch sanitary sewer line that traverses along the NBSD property had actually slipped on the hillside. It separated pipe, and there was the potential of leakage of sewage into the NBSD reservoir. So right away we had to bring the crew out to have that excavated, reestablish the bank where the sanitary sewer was located, encase the pipe in concrete to secure it and make sure that there was no issue. There was no damage, there was no leakage. EPA was notified at the time in case there was an issue, so the repairs were made. And H is an agreement with L&S Trucking, Excavating and Trucking. This was to reestablish a roadway at the Craig Beach wastewater treatment plant that would permit the removal of written screenings and the sludge from the sludge building at the plant.
Okay, thank you. Number 3, agreements A through H, do we hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Ridley.
Yes. Number 4, change orders lead.
It's a change order for some unforeseen lead house control items at 171 North Ox.
Okay. And OMB grants, B, C, and D. Anna.
Good morning, Commissioners. Letter B is change order number 1 with the Village of Lowville to extend the Westwood Street project through December 31st, 2020 at no change in the amount of $90,000. Letter C is a change order number 1 with Faust Construction for CDBG Delivery Lane Extension project in the amount of $4,338.25 for additional work, tree removal that was required. And D is change order number 1 with Fulton Township. For the balance of funds, we had awarded them approximately $83,000 for Zediker Acres road resurfacing. It came in under, so they had requested to utilize the balance for additional road resurfacing in the community.
Anthony, sanitary.
Yes, Commissioners, this is extra work order number 2. This is the ongoing relining of the sanitary sewer lines in Poland Village, parts of Poland Township, and also leading into the city of Struthers. Because of the age of this system, many of the manholes that we are dealing with were unrecorded and not shown on the drawings that we had. During the process of relining, they discovered 2 manholes that were not part of the original plan. To repair those manholes, bring them up to the quality of the other ones as part of the relining, additional work was needed to reline the interior parts of these 2 manholes. And this is to allow for this project to continue too.
Thanks, Joe. Number 4, change orders A through E. Do you hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Middy?
Yes. Number 1, resolutions, additions. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Middy?
Yes. Number 2, record of bids, sanitary. A.
Commissioners, this is the bid for the polymer that is used at the treatment plant. Polymer is a chemical that is added to the wastewater to develop a consistency for the removal of the solids from the liquids, and it produces the sludge that we then haul out to the landfill. It's a contract that we will be reviewing. We're going to go for a 3-year contract on this. 2 years of renewable at the discretion of the county. And again, we have 3 bids on it. We will be making a recommendation.
Thank you. Number 2A, record of bids. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficante?
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler?
Yes.
Commissioner Middy?
Yes. Number 3, resolution, commissioners, OMB.
Commissioners, item A is the resolution approving the 2020 non-general fund and register appropriations budget. Item B is the resolution that does transfer, this is the last transfer for the year from the Medicaid transition aid. There will be transfer of $2 million this year. This is the final of that. And item C is a resolution approving the appointment of the homeless continuum care coordinator. That position was previously at Health Hotline. But this is to provide additional separation between responsibility and allocation of federal grant funds. And since the county is now the collaborative applicant, we're bringing that position in-house.
Thank you. And I need to ask, have they done anything to get housing for the homeless? Have they found a location, do we know?
For the veterans?
Well,
For
I
the-
know for the veterans, but I mean downtown for just the homeless.
Oh, for the cold weather.
Cold.
We're working on trying to reinitiate the agreement that we entered into last year, or nonprofits had combined last year, and the resource there was Eugenia Atkinson Center.
Okay.
And then like Catholic Charities had agreed to provide staffing. I think the center itself agreed to provide security. We did not have to open it last year. There are resources available to like Compass and Catholic Charities that could house homeless individuals in hotels. So what we're trying to do is come to a better, like a defined role as to when in fact it would be open. If like a max of hotel room services are limited, then, you know, once we reach that, would we kick into the cold weather center and opening that? And partnering also with the Red Cross, of course, they would provide all the costs and everything that were necessary.
And I wondered if they had went forward, because we met with Catholic Charities, I think, a while back, and we haven't had anything since. I just wondered if they were, with the dialogue for downtown, a central location for them.
Yeah, we're gonna try to continue with that old one, but when that happens, the commissioners will be party to that this year.
Okay, thank you. D and E, lead.
D is a resolution for moral obligation payment. During the course of a limited home repair that we were doing, we were evaluating the furnace, and they had to shut the furnace down for multiple gas leaks, carbon monoxide, all kinds of issues that arose there, as well as, so we replaced the furnace. We had to do it immediately. So this is for the furnace, the air conditioning unit, and space heaters and things like that. That was actually provided through MyCap, but we had to pick up the tab.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. And the E is for a satisfaction of mortgage for a former, I think it was 2011 chip rehab that was completed, and the people are moving on, so they pay back that outstanding amount.
And F, O and B, grants.
Commissioners, this is a resolution approving the application from Compass Family and Community Services to receive funds from the marriage license fees and divorce dissolution fees in the estimated amount of $45,000. Those fees go through probate and the clerk of court's office. And every 6 months we give them a percentage of those fees, and they support Sojourner House, the domestic violence shelter.
Thank you. Number 3, resolutions, A through F. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Traficant.
Yes.
Commissioner Tucci.
Yes.
Commissioner Middy?
Yes. Well, that concludes the business portion of our meeting. And the only, I think, elected people that are here are us. Lou, do you have anything?
I just want to inform the other two commissioners, you were there, that we are in the final stages of our solid waste management plan ratification. The policy committee passed their final resolution on Tuesday. We did get a 95% approval rate, and by the first week in December, it will go to Ohio EPA. They'll have 90 days to review it and come back with their final say and allow us to move on with our new solid waste management plan. So I just want to let the commissioners know we're in that final stage.
Thank you. Do you also want to tell everyone about the Christmas tree decorating that we'll be doing down here with the green team and the students?
Well, in the past, the students have provided us with a lot of their tree decorations, and we would decorate a tree elsewhere. That kind of didn't work out this year, and the commissioners have been very gracious in allowing us to decorate a tree here at the courthouse with those very same decorations that the children provide for us through crafts and various recycled endeavors.
And that usually is at the Mill Creek Metro.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah, normally it's at Fellows Riverside, but it didn't work out this year for one
Why
reason
don't
or
you
another.
have room for us? I mean, really?
Yeah, so they're gonna do it here.
For the kids? I mean, I could see an adult just wanting to decorate a tree, but, you know, because they have the artsy, but for the young kids who work all year to make decorations out of recycled things, I'm sorry. I will probably say something too.
Don't doubt it.
Anyway, we want everybody to have a safe week. I'll let Anthony and Dave say a few words if they like. If not, we move forward.
I just wanted to say that last night I attended a meeting in Austintown Township with reference to the bridge that the state of Ohio, ODOT, has preliminarily said that they intend to tear down. It was a full house township. There's probably close to 100 people there. And the fire chief and the police chief gave updates on it. The fire chief ran a truck red, you know, as it was an emergency call, not driving, you know, in a manner stopping at lights, but ran the fire truck in an emergency situation to I believe it's what they call the north side of the bridge. The bridge goes from Meridian Road to Salt Springs Road on Lanterman. It's on Lanterman Road from Meridian to Salt Springs. The closest fire station, I believe the time frame that they ran going over the bridge was 3 minutes and 30 or 40 seconds. The time frame going with the bridge gone, the only route that could be gone through to get to the north side was 7 minutes and 53 seconds. So more than doubles the time frame for an ambulance or a fire truck or for a safety situation. So it's going to cost a couple of $1 million to raise the bridge because it goes over a thoroughfare because of where we are in proximity to the air base. So like they did on the bridge on New Road, on Kirk Road, and many other bridges in Mahoning County, they raised the bridges 2 feet, which is, they've got a pretty down pat on how to do those things. But in their eyes, because there's only 300 to 600 cars that go on there on a daily basis, that it's only $400 and some thousand to rip the bridge down. If they rip the bridge down, there's no cul-de-sacs being constructed, there'll be dead ends. So any kids that go to school will have to walk to the ends of the streets because the buses won't be able to turn around at the 2 dead ends. You know, in my eyes, it's just another opportunity for this ODOT, the state of Ohio, to put it to Mahoning County residents that they have done in so many different areas. You know, I think that we were, 10 years ago as a trustee in Austintown, we filed noxious weed ordinances against the state of Ohio and ODOT because they wouldn't even cut the grass at the exit ramps going on to Mahoning Avenue. We get a brush hog when the grass gets 3 feet high that they come in and take down the grass. This year again, the current trustees filed the same noxious weed ordinance against the state of Ohio. It was the only way they could initiate to get the grass cut. I'm putting together a letter that the commissioners have all decided that we need to, you know, seek more information out about this. The estimate that they say cost for the bridge, they're adding in all the costs of upkeep and maintenance over a 20-year lifespan as to what they're saying the savings is. You know, but they don't add into on what the potential damage is to the community in that area or the people that they put at risk, you know, for tearing down the bridge. You know, we had to have, when they put the veterans this year, put flags on the overpasses at the exit ramps going on to Mahoning Avenue. Leo Conley and a few of the veterans had to go out and literally sweep with brooms the sidewalks on the bridges because ODOT wouldn't clean it. You know, so, I mean, I drove this morning and made a call to ODOT. The director of ODOT made the mistake when we were in Columbus with the Chamber of Commerce of giving me his business card. You know, I made a call this morning, you know, at the intersection of Mahoning and 46 when I was coming to get on 680 to come here. You know, all of the orange cones are still up. The road's been repaved. The curbs have been finished for 2 months. And the cones are still there. You know, the lanes are closed. The cones are still there. The congestion is still created. You know, I'd like to see how many other communities in the state of Ohio that they're opting to tear down bridges instead of fixing them, raising them, or doing the maintenance on them. You know, when I drive to Columbus for meetings and I go through Polaris and all those areas, the grass looks nicer than any golf courses that we golf on around the Mahoning County area. You know, so there's never an issue for money for ODOT in Franklin County. There's never an issue for money for the roads that need resurfaced in those areas. And it seems like we take a backseat to everything here. You know, so I'm on my soapbox and I'm going to help fight, you know, to keep from tearing the bridge down just out of public safety, number one, for the community, and, you know, just out of disrespect for the
residents.
The other, what do they call us? We're not the 3 Cs, the other Ohio.
The other.
Is that how, you know,
Aberration.
yeah, the other Ohio, you know, we're not Cleveland, Columbus, or Cincinnati, you know, so we're, you know, the rest of the state of Ohio, who they take as many tax dollars from as you know, a lot of the areas. I think we're in the top 10, I know that, so.
We are.
But
Well,
it just upsets me that those are the approaches taken.
And it's amazing how you have to get elected officials locally to fight like dogs to protect the people that live in Mahoney County.
Oh, and-
That's just totally out of line.
And the other thing too is, when, in the state of Ohio, when you take at a dead-end area, like, where I believe, and Rick, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, when two county roads intersect, and the intersection goes to a dead end, the county is permitted to turn responsibility of the dead end section over to local government. I live at a dead end of New Road, where New Road and Turner intersect. So 10 years ago or 8 years ago, the county, they're by law mandated to bring the road up to today's standards, to resurface it and make sure everything's in working condition before they turn it over to local government, being that the Mahoning County did that at the dead end of New Road, then turned it over to Austintown Township to maintain. The state of Ohio is not required to follow the same rules as the county is by turning those roads over. When they create the dead end situation by taking the bridge down, they will turn those two dead end stubs for maintenance over to Austintown Township without bringing either one of them up to standards, and the road, either end up to standards, and neither section of the road's been resurfaced in 40 years. So, I mean, if, we get calls on Lanterman Road on a daily basis, and it's just one of those streets where, when the county engineer's looking to do resurfacing, they do like everyone else does, they count cars. How many cars go on it, how many people use it, how necessary is it? Because, like Pat says all the time, if you had the money, you'd pave every road twice. So that road gets left behind. And so now, it's not only gonna be almost untravelable because of the condition of it, but now it'll be a dead end on both sides that the state won't bring up the standards. So,
No, I agree with Dave. I mean, you could look through history here in the valley. For every dollar that is spent, state and federal money, the 3 Cs always got 32 cents, and we ended up getting 11 cents. So our community has always been an aberration or a pariah when it ever came to state funding. And with respect to that bridge, I mean, they're going to spend $500,000 on tearing it down. Why don't you just put another $1.5 million in it and lift it up and keep the residents safe? Because that is an access road for safety, and tearing that bridge down to me makes no sense, so we'll gladly do that letter. But there's various projects that I can mention where the state will not give curb cuts to certain residents on their property that's been taken by eminent domain. There's been other issues where they put in these curbs for one access off to the right, one you can only go left and you can't turn in this way, yet there's this concrete barrier in the middle of a street that comes off a state route and people are driving over top of that. I tried to help Jimmy Pepino in Poland at Arby's there on 224. It's the worst access route they could have put in, and ODOT would not listen. So, all you could do is try, but as far as the money train goes, we're lucky we get 11 cents on every dollar back from the state and federal money to the Mahoning Valley, and that has not changed. That has not changed. So I agree with Dave and Carol. Something needs to be done. Thank you.
All right, so with all that being said, hopefully they will listen to us in Mahoning County, but we will not quit at that meeting. We'll continue to fight for the residents of our county, because if the electeds do not do that, nobody will. So we have to continue to do that with Austintown trustees and all the residents that live in that surrounding area. Anyway, our next meeting is Thursday, November 21st, 10 a.m., right here in the hearing room. Do I hear a motion?
motion for everyone to say, go Browns.
Steelers.
I'm a Browns fan.
All right, Anthony, you know what?
Say yes.
Steelers.
Whoever,
Sorry.
whoever team wins buys lunch.
You got it.
All right,
Okay.
motion to
Is that
adjourn.
for everybody that's going to be at the meeting next week?
If the Steelers lose, yes.
We'll make Ralph pay.
Yeah, he's not here. Let's volunteer Ralph, our auditor. Okay, do you hear again?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All in-
Was a motion made?
Yes.
Second.
Commissioner Trafficant.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Mayor again.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Be safe.